Gravelite, anti-gravity satellite launch without retro boosters. Kashi settled on his couch and fired his laptop. He opened a draft research document he was willing to publish. His document read like this: Gravelite, anti-gravity satellite launch without retro boosters. Kashi, Caroline Liano, Georgia. Abstract. This paper describes the development of a small-scale rotorcraft for use as a satellite and launch vehicle. The launch mechanism of the system is highlighted, while approaches to fabrication, control and power systems are summarized. 2D fluid dynamics and design of the lift systems was combined with upper atmosphere vertical navigation. Results of prototype tests suggest that the concept can be successfully produced and that design methodology is appropriate, despite the radical VTOL design. Introduction. The paper deals with a concept that may revolutionize robotic flight vehicles and make possible new kinds of space research here on Earth. The Gravelite is a small-scale solar vertical takeoff and launch vehicle and spacecraft. Certain comparisons to satellites are favorable, as they orbit at upper reaches of the atmosphere, while others, like rocket lift and retro boosters, are not necessary. Figure 1. The Gravelite, an anti-gravity satellite launch. Presented at the American Helicopter Society Vertical Lift Aircraft Design Conference, Georgia. Copyright, C. 2000 by the American Helicopter Society, International. All rights reserved. Why a vertical takeoff and launch satellite? A vertical takeoff and launch vehicle satellite is a platform that is capable of hovering, yet taking off to stratosphere beyond gravity, thus the term, Gravelite, a juxtaposition of words gravity and satellite. Interest in flight without rocket boost is motivated by the revolution in quadcopter and e-commerce. It will soon permit sophisticated mission-related and flight control-related sensing with crafts in the ranges of 100 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers. While we realize that most applications for use as satellites are probably a decade away, the present investigation addresses some of the fundamental issues with flight at this stage. Such a launch system would have many unique capabilities, including the ability to achieve low Earth orbits to provide sensor information over a wide space at a specific resolution. The very low budget of building these devices might make them attractive for planetary exploration, especially on Earth, due to heavy atmospheric presence. Need refinement. Although VTOL, aircraft and space launch systems are available, self-propelling satellites might be used in the near term for simple cyclonic sensing tasks. If some of the same ideas are applied at a slightly larger scale, several current applications become attractive. Why a quadcopter? Conventional spacecraft require huge thrust for escape velocity because they have to overcome gravity. In vertical takeoff and launch, vehicle pressure difference causes lift by props dragging air down. In some cases at this scale, a hovering device requires less power than a conventional aircraft. We have augmented a typical quadcopter to increase its power and lift capabilities from several meters to 100 kilometers. Range. Kashi called Dr. Sunandan. "Hey, bro, how are you doing?" "I am good." "Who is this?" asked the voice from the other end. "Kashi," he replied. "Sir, how are you? Don't you worry about the pharma B marketing shill. It happens, bad times, we can strive over it easily. Testing kit sales are good, do we have to worry? It will be over. Probably," he said. "I am not talking about guinea pigs, dear." Kashi shot back. "Can you look into props? We have to increase LD ratios through software, please." He was apprehensive in his voice, asking hard-working Sunandan for helping him in the prototype. He was certain of his response. "Sir, I am quite busy with a normal course. Why would you ask for a prototype? Caroline ma'am is with you. Can you please ask her? You can do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the weekend. I hope you have a free schedule tomorrow. He straightly opposed the idea of working on the prototype. What about the shortages with protective gear? I foretold you to have a team ready. I scouted an alternative a year ago. Kashi was blunt this time. DSCO was the code name of a project. He scouted alternate locations in order to get stitching services ready. His colleague had helped him in piloting phase while, gossiped official memes, DSCO meant stalking for sticking, all these times. Kashi was calm, though, and not frustrated. It was just a matter of time how Q3 went to Q4 and Q1 turned into Q2, even, with all due diligent efforts. If someone had the audacity to stand up to Kashi visionary leadership, CCVD might have written, "Less succumb to supply chain breakup during apocalypse." DSCO might have spun into a manufacturing arm with CCVD help and would have solved the burgeoning alarming scarcity. He resisted arguing with Dr. Sunundan. He had helped him as much, a subordinate possibly can. Though, it was beyond his wildest imagination, what DSCO plan was. DSCO had been earmarked 150 grants from the very beginning. It was in the CCVD pipeline early in Q2, Q3 last year. CCVD failed to spin DSCO, in spite, it could have dealt, surge and shortages in protective gear prices. Kashi had already envisioned a buffer manufacturing capacity. The plan was now lying in dust. Instead, allies are dealing with a firestorm burning charges of illegal stash. Kashi's hustle with manufacturers to build capacity had thawed. One of them even had plainly derided Kashi's branding skills. He is reeling under bankruptcy, though, looking for financing workers' salary, with all lines and leases shut, indefinitely. These are perfectionist plans nobody noticed yet. Everyone's reeling under the zombie apocalypse and disaster management at war level. How could they have seen future? Dr. Sunundan, Caroline is helping with upper atmospheric simulation. I am asking you, please, look into how to stabilize hovering, instead. Kashi knew it wouldn't bother him. Okay. Sir, I will look into it, but I am not definite when. I have my hands full. He responded. Have a look though, if you must, be willing to help with prototyping. Kashi surmised, he might agree, flight could be staged at this time. Shall I ask Portuguese guy? His semesters in mechatronics are still pending. Kashi murmured, what if he would ask his bulk requirements again? Is he ready for some solid edge design work? Heck, don't even think. Kashi apprehended himself. He would be surfing like a zombie, lest as easy or difficult as asking teenagers to believe in Jesus. This is the time, Kashi sighed heavily.